Okay, so today I'm going to be introducing and start the journey of Kingdom Death Monster. I'm going to be playing it solo, and if you've not heard of this game before, it's very much a boutique horror game. It's very expensive, but it's very unique in its own place as well. It's quite similar to a video game in the sense of like an RPG. You're going to be exploring where you find yourself. You're going to be building a settlement, you're going to be advancing your civilization, innovating, building weapons, doing all of that, but it's also got miniatures as well. So it does require a bit of modelling ability as well, and ideally painting, of course. So, without further ado, let me just talk about the contents in a way. First of all, you get the essential part, which is effectively the rule book or the journey book, which has got everything you need to play the game itself. So all the rules and stuff like that are found in here. Then you get a really nice solid box, which has got beautiful dividers that keep your dice, all your tokens. So these are the tokens. You've got your terrain, stuff which we'll come to later. You've got your equipment over here, and your innovations and upgrades here, and then all of the monsters. And I've just got the core box. Okay, so I'm just be playing with the core box through this, I guess, this campaign, this journey. But I think that's all you need, because you get to learn the quarries, if you like, and some of the enemies and how they play. Okay. You also get, if I can move the box, you get this beautiful board. This is the encounter board, which has got this bit here as well. The player boards, you're going to be playing with 4 characters every time, and the character sheets to go with those. And this is where you put your equipment, or your gear, as it's called in the game. And then there's a whole other section to this game, which we will come to. So, without further ado, let's get rid of the text so we can actually see what we're talking about. So, lots in the game box, as you can see, and I'm going to put that away for a second, and then I can just grab things when I need them. So, if I can bring, sorry, the camera slightly across. So, this is the board that we're going to be playing on. Then we've got the character boards, which we'll come to in a bit. We're going to start with the book first of all. Okay. So it's quite unique in its art style, and it's quite mature, so I'm just going to put that out there now, that there is nudity in it, there is some pretty graphic gore, so please be aware this is a mature game. And it's Adam Poots is the person. So it says here in introduction how to play, the first thing you need to do is build and model your starting survivors and the White Lion. So what you get, and this is already got a bit beaten up, and it doesn't come with the foam, and that's something I've done, but you get sprues. Like Games Workshop, you get sprues. It is fiddly. We're talking about small parts to these sprues, and they're for different armor kits and things like that. So when you look at it at first, you go, my word, there's so much in there. And there's a lot of content in terms of modelling content and customization in there, definitely. So for example, it'll tell you up here what kit it's for, what type of armor. So this is Phoenix kit. Obviously we're not there yet, but there'll be other ones as well. So we've got these, and you start by creating your starting survivors. So I've got them here. To be honest, that's all I'm going to take out of that. I've also got a box for all of the monsters that I have assembled. And we also have our White Lion, which has been painted up. And you'll see in the description about what the white lion is and why it looks the way he does. So I'm just going to put the white lion out of reach there. And let's introduce the survivors. Well, we'll in a minute. Then it talks about the 3 different phases, okay? So there's a showdown, the hunt, and a settlement phase. So a game session has 3 stages to it. So you'll aim to do a game session in one sitting, in one night. Probably, realistically, taking maybe 3 hours. You also need the dice. So it's got normal D10 dice, which are here. Okay. The only difference is they've got the 10 symbol is a lantern. You notice lanterns come heavily involved in this game. And then you get these D6, which are unique to the game, and they're basically hit locations. So when damage is dealt, this is the hit location for the survivors. So we've got the dice. It tells us to get hit location dice and the sided dice. Then it says prologue. Begin your campaign, gather some friends, turn the page, read the first story, and start playing your prologue. So obviously I'm playing this solo, but you of course can play this, and it plays really well with a group. So you can see the scene is set here. Let's put our miniatures here, and we will describe about these miniatures in a minute, and we will introduce them because we will effectively design those characters. Once upon a time, there was a place of carved stone faces. A man with a lantern lay sleeping in a dreamless sleep. The man knew nothing. Here he is. This chap here. One day, the man woke up. He rubbed the dry ink caked over his eyes and opened them. Around him, he saw other people stirring, and beyond, a horizon of broken darkness. So you can see here, just to identify, I've done the inked eyes of these starting survivors on the paint job as well, and they basically got a loincloth. A woman approached the man with the lantern. Her soft hand reached out to him. They had no words. They were a mystery to each other. Suddenly, a monster emerged from the darkness. Its eyes with wild hunger. It attacked. And then we got the red detailing that I've painted up onto that lion. Here comes the first bit of gore, a dismembered arm. The people were no match for the monster. It tore their flesh and crushed their bones between its teeth. Some it devoured whole. Overcome with terror and grief, the man with the lantern collapsed to the ground. Cold stone noses pushed into his side. There was no escape. And you'll see on the base, we've got the stone faces on these starting survivors. But the man did not want to die. Desperately grasping at the cold stone faces, he felt a crack and tore at it with all his might. A piece of stone came free. It was sharp and deadly. The man with the lantern scrambled to his feet, his weapon clenched in his fist. He took a deep breath and roared into the darkness. Somewhere in the place of stone faces, nameless men stand together. They have nothing but a need to survive and a lantern to light their struggle. And here we've got our survivors as donated in the diagram there. So these are our survivors, our 4 survivors, okay? And this is the monster which is attacking our crease. It's a prologue to Monster. It will always teach you the fundamentals of the game, always start the game with the first story. So you always start with the first story, and it tells you to build. So it tells you when to build things, okay? So you're going to have to build the 4 starting survivors and the White Lion. And they have build instructions on their website. The first thing we need to do is create our survivors. So, what we've got is we've got 4 of these, and it takes up a fair amount of table space, the game. So I'm actually going to shift those along a little bit. There we go. And then for each of these survivors, there's a survivor's sheet. Okay. So I'm going to read through what we do. So each survivor starts with one cloth and one founding stone. So we go to our gear section of the box and we find the starting gear. Then we find founding stone for each of our starting characters and a cloth, which is basically the armour they start with. And just for keeping things in a nice organised manner, we just keep those together, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to zoom in on this part here. And you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. So, on your player board, you've got 9 slots for your equipment. So I'm just going to put those there to start with. To talk about these, so this talks about the armour. So this is a piece of armour, it says there. It's called a cloth. It has a 1 armour rating and it's worn on the waist. And it protects your waist, it tells you there. Gain 1 armour point at the waist hit location. So it really explicitly talks about what that item does, just to start the game. Now, I recommend a pencil because you're going to be changing the sheets a lot. So let's just do that now, first of all. So in the waist section of the armour, we put a 1. Then our weapon, our melee weapon, which is a stone. And we've got a few stats here, okay? Now, first of all, you got everything on there? Cool. So, first of all, we've got the number of dice that you roll. Then it's the value you need on a D10 to hit, and then the amount of damage that each hit will do. Okay? But it has a special ability. We can spend an action, so this tells about what you can spend at the start of your act. On this card here. Survivor's Act. At the start of your act, gain 1 movement, which is like a little pawn. A knight piece. And 1 activation, which is a lightning bolt. You can move once the number of spaces up to your current movement attribute in the movement. And you can spend an activation, okay, to activate a gear, terrain, or special rules. At the end of your act, lose any unspent activation, okay? So, instead of attacking, for example, what I could do is spend it to sling the stone from anywhere on the board, archive this card so you lose it forever, for 1 automatic hit that inflicts a critical wound. Now, a critical wound is effectively going to be, this only gives a 1, isn't it? Sorry. So now you can do as well as this. We also have unarmed combat. So if we do lose our stone, and critical wound is really hard to get. You basically need a 9 in this case because it's got a 1 here. This is what you take away from a 10 result on a D10 to get a crit. So if you're doing fist and tooth, 2 dice, 8+ to hit. And no extra thingy, except for it has +1 luck when you attack with this weapon. Okay, so it is still going to do that damage. Okay, so anyway, before we go on to all that will come out anyway when we come to the game itself. We start with movement of 5, so that's a standard movement, and it says survivor record sheet, blah blah blah. Name your survivor. So, Survivor number 1, which is going to be over on the right hand side of here. That's going to be the chap on the art first, and his name is going to be Peter. Okay, so you write down the name here. Okay, he also has 1 defense in his waist. And at the moment, we can spend a special action to dodge, which says avoid the damage from a hit. So we can spend survival to dodge. We're going to, because we've named our survivor, we get 1 survival. Now, next to Peter comes B. So he's male, it's female. 1 survival, 1 in the waist. Next comes Gregor. And then finally, we've got Tilly. So, I've named my survivors. We now have names associated with each of these survivors. The location of where we put the items on the boards will not matter for this particular first round. So I'm not too fussed about that. Learn about survival, we've talked about that. Attributes, the main ones you need to worry about are speed, accuracy, and strength and movement. So then you've got other ones like we've got some here. So we've got movement, accuracy, strength, evasion, luck, and speed. These are additionals. So if we level up or get negatives, we put pluses and negatives in these boxes. And then it's linked to the weapon. So the top number of your weapon is your speed. The accuracy is next. And the strength is final. Okay? And then there's loads of other stuff as well. So you get Hunt XP. You get these kind of like emboldened squares that when you get to, it triggers things. So like age, and then age 2, age 3, age 4, and then retired. You get weapon proficiency, so you can become proficient in a weapon and hopefully become a master in that. And there's courage and understanding. As you start to understand what's going around in the world inside of you, you've got your different locations of your body. You've also got a big part to play in this game, which is about insanity, and in terms of your brain health. Then you've got fighting arts, disorders, and abilities and impairments. So all these are all the things that can happen to your characters. Okay, so basically if we get a damage, if we roll this dice, the way it kind of basically works, with 1 defense in waist, what we can do with this one dice, is if the lion attacks us and it hits us, we'd roll this. If we roll a waste, which is a 1 in 6 chance, then we will block it with our cloth. Anything else, we take damage. Now, your head's not a good place to take damage. You'll take a heavy wound to your head. Anywhere else, you would take a light wound first, and then you would take a heavy wound. As soon as you take a heavy wound, you then need to roll on a very harsh table, which is the injury table. And we'll get to that when we come to it. I'm sure we will. But insanity is persistent. It gains, whereas your armor refreshes every time you go to a new hunt. So we've got all of our abilities and everything else. So, first story. So we go straight on to the first story. And let's zoom out again. So, it says create the White Lion AI deck. So I've got the White Lion all sorted out here. So it has a basic action. So what we're doing at the moment is the first story, okay, which is a level 1, but with a custom deck list. Normally you would kind of draft cards to decide on what its AI is. It's got a movement of 6 and a toughness of 6. When we get up to level 1, it goes to movement of 6 and a toughness of 8. and this is its basic action. Okay, so I'm going to put that in the basic action slot, and I'm just going to move the board. Just going to move the camera up slightly so you can see where I am. So this goes in the basic action. Next, we go to AI and hit location, and we want to create its AI deck. So we've got a specific over here. One second. Over here on this page, it tells me what to get. So advanced, we need Terrifying Roar, Maul, and Enraged. So they're all the A's. No S abilities, no L abilities, no special or legendary abilities. And then I'm left with my... Oh, sorry. One legendary. It's... oh, no, it says none. It says none. Then with the B's, we need a Size Up. We need a Claw. We need a Chomp. We need a Grasp. And a Power Swap. So we've got 5 of those, 3 of those to make 8 cards in the AI deck. Okay, so the question might be, okay, fair enough. So you've got this AI deck, as it were. Legendary, yeah, so I've just talked about that. First I was presenting to showcase. Set Claw aside. So we need to set Claw aside. Then grab the rest, shuffle them. So we shuffle the rest of these AI cards, and it tells you the AI cards and what creature denoted by the symbol, as well as the name here. Okay, and then Claw goes on top. That goes onto the AI deck over there. What I'm actually going to do, because the traits will be used less, and I'm going to be using that a lot more, I'm actually going to flip this board round, like so, which means it'll be a lot better for the showdown to show what's happening. So the AI deck's done. The rest of the AI cards I can put away. We'll not need those. Now we do the hit location. And it says, grab Strange Hands. So we get the Strange Hand card, put that aside, shuffle all the other ones. Now, the beauty of this, you might be thinking, well, what about the wounds? How much health has this creature got? And the AI deck is its wounds, okay? That's the best way to think about it. So the hit locations will determine, and we put Strange Hands on top. So that's what we're going to be hitting. We know we're not going to get, there's one trap card in all that deck, and you don't want to get the trap card. That would be pretty horrendous. Okay, so we set that up. Next, it says set up the White Lion's basic action, which I've literally just done. Set up the showdown table. So we've got the showdown table like this. Place the miniatures. So first of all, the White Lion goes slap bang right in the middle. Then it says, then the players place their miniatures anywhere 6 spaces away from the White Lion. We don't think about things diagonally in this game. Okay, so everything is orthogonal in this game. So it's got to be 6 away, and it gives you a little bit of a placement map here. Okay, so you can see that we are effectively 6 away. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 2 from there, going up in a diagonal to two here, and then diagonal again up to 2 here, and then back again. Now, the thing is, what's the AI going to go for? What's the AI going to do? And the best way to do that is look at the basic action. Closest survivor in field of view. Now it says here, closest threat is forward facing. In field of view, his everything apart from the last 2 squares, which are behind it to get the advantage of the creature itself. Okay, so we're gonna. I think we're gonna place. Who do we want to be taking the brunt of the attack first of all? I think we're gonna put 1 here. It's only 1 target. That's the good thing. I'm just going to do it a little bit like. Now the thing is, they're all equal distance away. All equal distance away. So we would, whoever's the monster controller, will be the person it selects to attack. So we get to. Yeah, we get to choose if we're equal distance away, which we're going to be. So it makes sense to have a couple of survivors. My plan is it's going to charge me, then I can get around the back of it, which would be quite good. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can get to that lion now. The thing is, question is, I believe the monster attacks first? Yes, it does. The monster's going to attack first, so that's why I'm thinking this. Okay. So I've placed my miniatures, I've placed my characters, they're here, waiting for the attack. It's going to be pretty brutal. It could be very brutal, we'll have to wait and see. It is a brutal game, please be aware of that, it's a very brutal game. 1 act per survivor. Yep. And remember, an act includes 1 move and 1 activation. Okay. So first of all, it says here, draw the claw attack. We know it's the claw attack because it's the first AI card. It says closest threat facing in range, in field of view. Okay, so you start with that. Then if that doesn't work, you go into that because remember, field of view is everything. In range is effectively here. It's got a movement, remember, of 6. If you want to know that, you just go back to here and you can see you've got a movement of 6 and a toughness of 6, okay? So just remembering that. So we get to choose, and the lion's going to attack Gregor. Gregor's going to take the brunt to start with. So we move the white lion up to the space to get into range. Then it says, before that, the monster controller, obviously the monster controller, which is kind of like the first player, I suppose, is going to be Gregor. And the reason why that's important is because he's going to gain 1 insanity because he's now targeted. Now you might think, why do you want to gain insanity on Gregor? So I've just gained 1 insanity here, okay? Because if the player targets their survivor, they gain +1 insanity. And it is basically it's the monster controller who determines who the target is. Right, okay, so we've done all that. Now we move the line, as I said we were going to do, and then it's going to attack. Now you see that I've left the back of the line empty, and there's a reason for that. So we now follow through with the claw attack. A speed of 2, that means 2 dice to roll. On accuracy of 2+. So we're looking at a 2+ to hit. So let's see if they manage to get 2. They do. A 7 and an 8 will hit twice. So it's 2 hits onto Gregor. Now we roll hit locations, and we do it 1 at a time because it could max out, as it were, or it could stack, I should say. So first of all, now what I could do. By the way, damage, the good news is the damage is 1. So it's only going to do 1 point of damage for each hit location. So the first one is on the leg, which I could take. So the way this works, I have no defense in my leg. So I'm going to take a light wound to the leg. The second one is to the hand, or the arms, I should say. Now, I think I'll take that as well. And I'll keep my survival for dodge when I need to. Okay, remember I've only got dodge to do it. So that's good. It means that I'm not going to take I'm not going to be knocked down, and I'm not going to have to take a severe injury. So basically, when I have no armor and all my injury, so once I've filled out both of these boxes, I get knocked down if the Bolden one's taken down. By the way, the heavy. If I take another wound to that location, I have to roll on the severe injury table, and it can be instant death. Just to point out now, it could be instant death. So, he's used that AI card, the lion, so we put it in the AI discard pile. And that's everything that's happened, okay? There's no moods or stuff like that that we need to worry about. So, we've now completed the lion's turn, so now it comes over to the survivor's turn. So, we know that we're going to hit a location. So, we could, if we wanted to, lob a stone to guarantee not only a hit, but a critical wound. And if we have a little look, you could argue we're cheating here, because if we fail, the lion will instinctively strike back and perform a basic action, which is an attack, which is exactly the same as the claws that we just saw, basically, onto that player. That's really, really bad. We do not want that to happen, okay? If we miss, it's not good. Let me put it this way, it's really not good if we fail. So... what shall we do? Who should we use to the... just remember... I'm just looking to make sure... yeah, it's basically just a trap. A trap we don't want to see. Okay, just wanted to double check. So, who's going to throw their stone? It's going to be one of these two. I think Greg is just going for it. He's going to throw his stone. Just going to want to show you what this effect does. Now, the stones are quite good because, number one, they've got a bit more strength than 0. So you're not just relying on your dice roll. And I'll talk about how you damage or wound the monster in a second. It says here, strength determines if you can penetrate the monster's toughness to wound it. Make a wound roll by rolling a d10, then add the strength of your weapon to the result. If it's equal to or greater than the toughness, then you wound the monster. So with a stone, it's got a strength of 1. So we need to roll a 5 plus on a d10, so it's 50-50, and we would wound the monster. We've got to hit it first, and then you got to wound it. So you've got to get 7 plus first to hit it, and then you've got to get a 5 plus to wound it. Fists. Once I've lost this thing, then I've just got to use fists and hit through. But I'm going to throw the founding stone. So Gregor's going first, and he's going to lob his his founding stone. You can do it in any order you want, okay? So I can move after this. That's really important, but I can move, and I'm going to move because I need to move him out of the way because he's the most injured. I can move first, to be honest. In fact, I probably will. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry. So I'm going to move 5. Sorry. So I'm going to move 5 out of the way to here. Then I'm going to lob the stone. 1 automatic hit, then inflicts a critical wound, and then we return this to the game box. So, what you do, if you hit first, you pick up one of these cards. Then you flip it, because things might change the way that you try and hit it, or whatever it might be. So, we've successfully injure, and we do a critical wound. We lose our founding stone, so that goes back to the box. and it says, cancel the reaction, which was a fader anyway, which is automatic. You hack off the monster's hand. Spend one survival to treasure this moment and gain 1+1 permanent strength. Oh, 100% that's happening. So, what you'll need in this game is a rubber for your thing. So, I'm going to get rid of my survival. So, I'm not using that to dodge. And I'm going to gain +1 strength, which goes into here. Which helps, obviously, to damage. So, when we're talking about damaging, that's what we mean. That's huge. That's not a bad start. Quality. Also, persistent injury, lost hand. Affects some AI cards. Keep it in play. So over here, we've got persistent injuries. I'm just going to place that. Well, I'm going to place it that way, actually. I'm going to place that here. So I know that it's got lost hand. So when we look at additional ones, we'll need to find out. Now, also, this counts as a wound. So normally, if it doesn't say persistent injury, you would just put it in the wound stack, and that starts to add up the wounds. Okay? Sorry, what am I talking about? That goes there. Then, what you do, once you've successfully wounded a character, is you take the top deck of their AI card, and that goes into the wound stack. That's one wound from the AI card. Remember, there was 8 AI cards to take down. Basically, if we wound the monster and there's nothing in the draw pile, not the discard pile, and nothing in the draw pile, then the monster is dead. So, yeah, but from this area, so it can be from the discard pile as well. But any AI card that is in. Once these have all gone, and they've been put in the wound stack, or in a mood, or whatever it might be, then we would attack it, do one more wound, and that is the death move. Okay, so we have successfully done Gregor. So now let's go behind. So I'm going to go in with Tilly. 1, 2, 3, and she's just going to go to here. You can't split your movement up. That's another important point. So I can go 3, attack, and then go 2. Okay, so you can't split up your movement. So let's go for it again. So this is a normal attack. She's not going to fling her Founding Stone. So we're going with a speed of 2, 7+. But you'll notice I'm in what's called the blind spot. The blind spot of the lion. Has it got it in here? Yeah, here we go. The blind spot of the lion, in this case, is the 2 squares directly behind the lion. When you're in the blind spot, you get +1 to your accuracy. Okay, so let's have a go at attacking onto the blind spot. So we need 6 pluses. We got 1. That's awesome. That's fine. Sometimes critical hits will take effect. Not for these weapons, but with certain weapons, critical hits will also take effect as well. Right. So we hit once. Once you hit, you draw a hit location. Okay, we've got the Beast's Paw. So, this is another persistent injury one. If we fail to wound, it's going to attack me. So it can turn around and attack me with +2 damage on each hit. If I can crit, which is on this, is going to be a 10. So I've got no luck. So it's going to be a 10. If I roll a 10, a natural 10, I will get the crit. But remember what I need? I need a 5+. So, are we ready? We need a 5+. This is important. And would you believe it? We got a 5. So 5 plus the strength of the weapon, which is 1, is 6. Toughness is 6. We've equaled it. We haven't critted it, but we wounded it. So you take the top card of the AI deck. This is not a persistent injury because we didn't crit it. Only if you critted it will we get. So we just put it in the discard pile. But Tilly with a really successful stab into the back, and now we're going to go. We're going to go with Peter. I want to say Peter. Yeah, I want to go with Peter and see how he goes. So again, he's in the back, speed of 2, same weapon, with a 6+. And we get a 7 and a 1. So the 7 does hit. Where do we hit? The glorious mane. It's impervious. Impervious hit locations cannot be wounded. A wound or critical wound will not remove an AI or defeat the monster. However, we could potentially crit it. So no failure reaction here. So it doesn't matter if we miss it, but this is not going to be a wound onto the character. So we're hoping for a 10. We get 2, so we wouldn't have wounded anyway. So no wound there. We just discard that hit location. So we have a decision. She B is in a bit of a precarious situation. Where she's in front of the lion, so very likely going to be attacked in the next one. I'm okay with that. I think I'm okay with her being attacked, and that means that I've got these 2 set up ready to attack from behind, just when I need to. So I think I'm okay with that. She's just going to go in and attack. So 7 pluses because she's not in the blind spot, and a 1 and a 5 does nothing. Do we want to move her? No, we're going to keep her there. So we finished our turn. So now we go back to the lion's turn. Okay. So if we carry on, it says, it's time to finish the battle between the survivors and the White Lion. Each round, continue to pass the monster controller to the next player. Draw a fresh AI card and see what happens. If the lion has no AI cards in its deck, but there are cards in the discard pile, excuse me, shuffle the discard to create a fresh AI deck. If there are no AI cards in any of the draw deck or the discard pile, then effectively it will just use its basic action to attack every time. And then if we do 1 more wound, it kills the monster. So this is what we're going to try and do. Now we might actually die here. If we do, in this particular one, if we die, we just try again. So I'm hoping I successfully win against this lion with at least 1 survivor, but we'll soon see. And we'll find out what happens if we are victorious. So I'm going to put this away. Oops. Try and just put the book away, just so we can kind of see what's going on with the action instead. So we're back to them. This moves on clockwise to the next one, which is Tilly. So Tilly is now the monster controller. The lion, we draw the AI card. Oh dear. This is not good. So this is a mood. It's enraged. When this comes into play, draw another AI card. Basically, while this is in play, gains +1 damage token per monster level. Okay, so what we're going to do is we grab our damage token. So we've got loads of tokens, which have got a plus and a minus side, and we're going to put the +1 damage over there onto its persistent while this is in play. Okay. When a survivor suffers any dismembered, severe injury, or is killed, we discard, enrage. So +1 damage on all attacks. Draw an AI card. But while that's in play, that's taken an AI card away from here. So now there are 3 out of the deck. There's only 5 left on here. Power SWAT. Oh dear. Closest threat facing in range. Yep. B's going to take the hit. Move to attack. Doesn't need to move. It's going to go 1 to here. 2+ with 2 + 1. 3 damage on each of those locations. Oof. This could be the end of B. She has got dodge and she has got survival. So first of all, it's only 1 dice. The good news is it might get a 1. It might get a 1. Oh, I saw the 1. A 3 hits. So it hits 3 damage. So 3 damage. And I believe I want to double check this. I'm pretty sure, because to be honest, I've not played this for a little while. I want to make sure you just roll the hit location, not the hit location, the location dice once. Oh, hang on. So it doesn't matter where it would go. It would just damage me anyway. So I am going to spend my survival. That's not. I'm going to dodge, which basically says dodge, avoid the damage from a hit. So I'm avoiding that 3 damage from that hit. But we haven't finished, because after damage, knock back 6. It's makes 6 paces away, directly away from the monster. So we are. Oh, no, not knock down. Knock back 6. Sorry, I really haven't played this for quite a while, so I just want to make I'm not sure if I get pushed down. I will double check. It does say knock down, knock back, knock back, knock back, knock back. I have a feeling because I hit the wall, I get knocked down. I'm just wondering if I take a sorry. Let's. So if we look right at the back, we've got a glossary. I just want to get this right. Knock back. Move the target X directly away from the cause of this effect. Yeah, no, it doesn't knock me down. That's only if I take the heavy injury. So she just gets moved to there and she stops. I'm pretty sure. What about terrain? Oh, I should really remember this. Train. Yeah, no, I think. And they are pushed X space in a straight line for the monster. If Swerve ends up in space with enough Swerve, they're both knocked down. Yep, if the survivor encounters a board edge, stop and end knockback. It's only if they hit another survivor. Okay, cool. So it is that. Right, okay, so this is making a bit more sense. Right, power swat's done. So she had to use her survival, she dodged out of the way. I think that was a clever move, that was the right move, definitely. But let's go on to us. Now, Tilly wasn't the target, of course, Bay was, so I didn't get the +1 insanity to our... And remember, insanity is basically, as the symbol suggests, it's defense for your brain, which is really quite good because you can get brain traumas. So getting some insanity is actually quite good. It helps you manage the situation we find ourselves in. Right, who wants to go next? So it's going to be these guys attacking from behind first of all. So let's go with Peter. So we're looking again for 6 pluses because we are behind, and it's a flop. Then he's going to move. I should have done someone else, shouldn't I? Then he's going to move 1, 2, 3. He's going to move to there, just so we're surrounding it, so we can get to the back. Then Tilly's going to go. Ooh, critical hit and a 5. The 5 doesn't hit, so we get 1 hit. Let's see what we're doing. The beast's back. Oof. Oh, hang on. The beast is going to move back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's going to move back full. And suffer grab. Oh, okay. This could be pretty bad for her if I fail. So it's 5+. Oh, this is so important. Oh, clutch! Here's the 5. The weapon's got a damage, got a strength of 1. So that's 5 + 1 is 6, which is the toughness. We wound. Don't critical wound, but we wound. So another card onto the wound stack. Well done, babe. Did you want to get out of the way? 1. Yeah. She's going to move to here. Finally, no, not finally. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She can't get behind him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Neither can Gregor. Oh, okay. I don't want B to be the target. So I'm going to go here. Hang on. Closest in field of view then, isn't it? Okay. Right. Change my mind slightly. Instead of doing that, 1, 2, 3, 4. He's going to move to there. 5. There's a reason for that. Because now he's facing, he'll be the target. And I need that to happen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can still attack diagonally. You just can only move off diagonally. Is that right? I'm pretty sure that's right. I think you can attack diagonally. If I remember rightly, you can attack diagonally, but not orthogonally. Perhaps you can't. Maybe everything's orthogonal. You know what? I can't remember. I thought you could do diagonal, but let's say you can't. So I'm just going to do that and move her there. So she's going to attack. She's got the stone. Come on, B. She hasn't taken any damage yet, though, to be fair. And let's see what she does. She gets 2 5s for nothing. She needs 7s. And then Gregor's going to do the same. Unarmed. So 8 pluses. He gets an 8. He hits. Oh no, there's a failure. That's not good. Poor old Tilly might get hit here. Because again, we're moving backwards. Oh no, forwards. Sorry, it's moving forwards, not backwards. That's good. That means that, yeah, nothing's going to happen. That's good. That is good. That is good. At least there's nothing really bad. Zero strength on fists, but +1 luck. So what that means is the +1 luck means that the crit goes from a 10 down to a 9. So I crit on a 9, I wound on a 6+. Here we go. And we get a 3. We fail, and the lion moves straight. It does not suffer collision with the wall. Okay, it does grab, but there's nothing that it grabs in its range, so it's really lucky. But we don't wound it. I'm quite happy with that. I think that was relatively successful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, the lion's going to turn to Peter in the next go. So first of all, we move this over to Peter. So that's quite good. I should have perhaps done that. Maul. So victim of grab last round. No one got grabbed. So closest knockdown survivor range. There is no knockdown range. So we go to sniff. So what is sniff? If we have a look back on the basic action card on the back, instinct sniff. Sniffs and ends its turn. Until the end of the next round, all survivors are now threats, despite any effects that say otherwise. It's not a +3 white lion. So basically, all survivors are threats. Don't worry about what it says in terms of target. They're all threats. That's not so bad. Okay. So it didn't attack. That's awesome. So sometimes that will happen. And number 2, it's not moved. the creature's not moved. So that's how we you do an AI card. You go from the top, going down, then you follow the arrows, then you go to the next one. That would have been a 4 damage attack on. Oh, wow, that would have been huge. So I'm pretty chuffed about that didn't happen. And we come over to Argo. So we definitely want to attack with. I think we're going to get Tilly in the action again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And she's going to attack from behind on a 6+. She gets a 9 and a 1, so she hits once. Let's see where we're going to hit. On the beast's tail. It's got a reflex. So basically a reflex will just happen. Forward in a straight line, cancel all of it out of range, and any suffer pass goes grab. Not going to do anything, basically, which is ideal. So let's just roll the dice. We need 5+. And we get the 4, we fail. The reflex happens first of all, but the line can't move anymore, so it just stays where it is. Unlucky Tilly. Should we see if Peter's got survival? We want him to attack Peter, though. So actually, I'm going to take B in. Come on, B. 2 dice, 6+. A 9 and a 4 is another hit. The beast's chest. It's got a failure, moving in straight forward with grab. So you can kind of see how the lion acts with these hit locations. Because when we want to start hunting this beast maybe later, we'll have to think about that. So, again, the failure will not make any difference. So we're looking for 1 hit on a 5+. And we get a 6. We are successful. So it doesn't take effect anyway. We don't crit, but we take 1 AI card, put it onto the wound stack. And because there's no cards there, we shuffle the AI deck. There's 3 AI cards left. Remember, the lion has +1 damage. Because he's still enraged. He hasn't dismembered or killed one of my survivors. So we still have the 2 guys left. So I think we're just going to put Peter here. I'm just going to surround that lion now. And just go for glory. I mean, I could use a Founding Stone and just literally go for broke. But I kind of want to keep the Founding Stones. They're so powerful. 2 and a 3 is going to do nothing. And he's got no Founding Stone, so 8+. He gets the 10. Please don't have a failure. Oh, it's got a failure. Oh, no. So basically, he's going to move 1 space away and knock back these guys because they would occupy. So that's, again, it's not a horrendous set. But we're looking for 6+ just a wound. On a 9+, it's a crit. A 1 will do nothing. So he knocks back those 2 characters. So not massively special. 3 AI cards left. Not too bad. This moves on to B. And let's see what the monster is doing. It's going to claw. No one facing. So closest threat in field of view. We've got these 2. The monster controller decides. Gregor's already used his survival and he's got damage. So the lion goes for Peter, who still has his survival. 2 dice on 2+. That's two attacks with 2 damage each. Oof, right, so the first 2 damage goes on the chest, which I will take. So he's now taken. He's going to be knocked down. So I will not be able to use him in the next go. And then the other 2 damage goes on to the chest again, which he will 100% use his survival to dodge out the way. Because that would be horrendous. So Peter's used his survival. He's knocked down, unfortunately, but he's not dismembered or anything. So it's not the worst in the world, but it's not great. That is the monster's turn, so it's back to us with 3 people attacking. I don't actually want Gregor to attack the back, and I don't want him to start. Tilly's going to come around to the... No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. B actually comes around to the back. Come on, B. Needs 6s. And gets a 1 and a 3. That's shocking. Then Gregor's going to come round to here and attack on 8+. Misses. And then Tilly's going to come round to the back on 6s and gets 1. Not a great start. The blow lands on the monster's leg. Okay, no reaction. So 5s again. Oh, and a 4 again. The dice are not with me. We're getting through this hit location, which means a trap is imminent. Peter stands up, only to be mauled again. Never mind. Probably. We'll soon find out. No. Well, first of all, hang on. Am I right in saying that they just stand up for action? Oh, I have to check that. So I haven't got encourage, have I? Encourage is using survival to encourage one of your characters to pick up. I just want to make sure I've done that right. So we want a knockdown. When injury levels filled up, this is knocked down and no longer a threat. Lay a miniature on the side. If it's a survivor's knocked down while performing an attack, the remaining of cancel knockdown, so it cannot spend activation movement or be knocked down again. They can spend survival to dodge, but stay knocked down. Knockdown survives. Get up at the end of the next monster's turn. Oh, my fault. So, actually, he stays knocked down until the end of this maul. So, unfortunately, which means closest knockdown survivor in range, he's going to maul Peter. Oh, Peter. With the 4. Oh, this could be the end of Peter. I think this could well be the end of Peter. I didn't move the... Oh, no, I didn't do that yet. 2+. Misses one of them. Saving grace. So damage of 4. So it's going to be a heavy injury, whatever I do. On the head. On the head. So Peter takes damage to the head. And because we have... So 1 damage and there's 3 damage over. You couldn't survival, of course. We go on to the book. And we roll on the serious injury table. They're split up into the different sections. And as it says, you roll 2d10. 1d10, sorry, I think. Yep. And we want high, okay? We want high. Low is bad. Low is bad. A 2. Head explosion. Your head erupts in a shower of gore, killing you instantly. All other survivors are so disturbed that they lose 1 survival. Peter is dead, which is not good. Bees use their survival. Tilly now is the only one with survival left. She loses her survival as well. And because one of our characters has died, Enraged comes, if I can get it, Enraged comes off the table because it says here, or is killed, discard Enraged. So that comes back onto the AI deck. So they're back up to 3 cards that I still need to take out. 1 survivor down. Oh, Peter, he was doing so well. And he had the Founding Stone. After damage, bleed, no, and bash, knockdown. So we don't have to worry about any of those because the target is now taken out. Oh, sorry, there's 4 AI cards still to take down. So what have we done? Half? Yeah, we've taken down half of the wound stack. We've not been very successful so far. The damage token comes off because it's no longer enraged. And we move on the controller token over to Gregor. Ah, dear. Right, come on, girls. Come on, girls. Earn your money. B's going to go first. 6+. 1 hit. I'm worried about the trap now. Beast's Temple. This sounds good. Perhaps I should have done. Oh, man. I wish if I had done a throw-in Founding Stone, that could have worked. I might have to think about throwing some Founding Stones soon. Right, 5+. Come on. Oh, it's a 3. It's a 3. Right, it turns around and it does a basic action against me. If we look at the basic action, it's speed of 2 on a 2+ with 1 damage. 1 misses. 1's crit. Then it's a damage, 1 damage onto the body of B, that was. So she takes 1 light wound. She's fine. That's fine, but we fail to wound, typically. She's going to move out of the way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Probably just to here, actually. Come on, Tilly. We need to get some wounds. Does she throw a stone? I think we're in pretty desperate measures here. What's here? Maul's terrible. Maul's the worst card. I'm just trying to think what's. I don't want to cycle that in. I think we just go for another attacks. So now we're facing. Oh, actually, that's a good point. Actually, no. So B is going to move to here. Here. Which means that we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Do we want B to be Tilly? Sorry, do we want Tilly to be the target? She's taken no damage. Yeah, we'll probably do. Okay, yeah, I'll keep B there. Let's just try and hit it. 7+. No, we're throwing a family. No, we're doing 1 more attack. Got 7, so we get just a hit. Straining neck. Why didn't we do it? We could have. Oh my god, we could have killed it. We could have just killed it. Oh, well, he did 10 on a T10, but still. But we could have knocked it down. Oh, and all hits on the 3+. Oh, right, 5+. Oh, this is a disaster. It's another 4. I cannot wound this creature to save my life. Tilly stays where she is, and Gregor goes round to the back. Hitting on 8, going down to 7s. A 10 and a 6, so he hits. Hits the fuzzy groin. Right in a ding-dong. However, needs to roll a 6+ to hit, and a 9+ to crit. He obviously gets 1 less, like I haven't rolled pretty much the entire game. Doesn't wound, no reaction. What a disaster. What an absolute disaster. Let's see what... Oh, that's so disappointing. Oh, it's the power SWAT. I should have done it. Such a dumbass. Right. Tilly's taking the attack. It's 1 attack. 2+. Gets the 6. 2 damage with knockback. 2 damage in the foot. The legs is good. Tilly can take that. She does get knocked down, and she gets knocked back. How much? 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, D. Pass what's new, so shuffle the AI deck. 4 wounds still to take. And now Tilly's Founding Stone's not working. Ugh. Brutal. Although we are behind it. Which is good. Right, so that moves on over to Tilly. We're gonna move B first. She's got the best chance. I still need to just hit. 6+. Gets a 1 and a 9. Hits once. Oh, watch out for her. Beast Brow. If we wound it, oh no. Attack stuff is 1 brain damage. B has no insanity. This is going to be... Oh no. Oh dear. This is going to be rolling on the trauma table. Oh wow. I needed a crit. Okay. I need a 10. 5+ to wound. 10 for crit. Hits 6. I wound it. First thing is, we wound it. Take away 1 of the AI cards. The bad news is, of course, Snarling, the monster swats at its attacker. Attacker suffers 1 brain damage. We've got to roll that first before the rest of it. So because she has literally no brain defense, no insanity, B's going to have to roll on the table straight off the bat. So we go over to the brain trauma. Is it a 1d10? Oh. Yeah, I believe it's 1d10. Oh god. Here we go. High is good. 8. Gain a random disorder and 1d5 insanity. So, disorders. We head over to... Is this disorders? Yep. We head over to our kind of decks and we've got a whole deck of disorders. We shuffle these up. So it's one random. This is good. This is good. This is not bad. This is not bad. It depends. It's called lunacy, by the way. So we grab one. We pray. You are the prey. All there is for you is death. You may not spend survival unless you are insane. I'm insane if I get 3+. So, where's my pencil? Where it says disorders, I put here prey. Okay? So I have to be insane to do that. Right, okay. That could be far worse. And D5, insanity. So I'm going to get a bit of brain defense. This divided by 2, so 3. So I get 3 insanity. And it says here, if your insanity is 3+, you are insane. So I tick this box. I'm now insane. I can spend survival. Not that I've got any. Okay, and that was the wound. Oh, hang on. So that was the brain damage. Now it turns to face me and hits me for a speed 2. So it's not over yet. Speed 2, 2+. Misses 1 again. Oh, we're getting a few 1s for him. Damage is 1 damage on the body. Oh well, there's nothing I can do about it. She's knocked down. She takes a heavy wound to the chest. Oh dear. Hang on, when does she get knocked down? She gets up at the end of this turn, and then she's going to get up at the end of the next turn. Oh no, sorry, this was during my turn, so they're both going to get up at the end of the lion's turn. Wow, okay. We did wound, she did wound. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gregor's going to go around the back and try and get his revenge with his fists. So he's going to fist him with a 7+. Gets a 10. He hits the beast's tricep. And we're going to need a 6+ or a 9+ for a crit. A 2. It's a failure. So it turns to face Gregor and it does a basic action against... You see this is going downhill. 2+. It gets 2. 1 damage. First to the hand or the arms. So that hits him for a heavy attack. And then 1 damage to the arms again. Which means, you guessed it, we're rolling on the table. And this could easily be a redo of the scenario. So we're going for the arms. 1d10. Need a high number. 5. Ruptured muscle. A painful rip. The arm hangs limp. You can no longer activate fighting arts. This injury is permanent and can be recorded once. So where it's got abilities and impairments, Gregor's now got a ruptured muscle. No fighting arts. I'm just going to put a little bit of a... And you gain 1 bleeding token. So I think a character can take 5 bleeding tokens before they are killed. Let's double check that as well. When a survivor has 5 bleeding tokens, they die. So they can take 5 bleeding tokens. Well, that's all my characters knocked down. The good news is they can't be targeted while they're knocked down. Apart from Maul, which I think maybe I might have done that wound. So fingers crossed, right? Let's find out. It's Claw. So there is no threat. facing in range. There's no threat in field of view, so it's going to sniff, which means everything's a target. So remember, when you are knocked down, I believe that's true. When you're knocked down, I think you cannot be targeted, which gives you a little bit of A survivor's knocked down is no longer a threat. Layer minion on the side is knocked down and form an attack. Exactly as I thought. Okay, so this talks about threats on the AI card, so it no longer targets them. Right, it's the end of their turn, so because all of that happened on my turn, believe it or not, we put all of my characters up. This goes over to B. Okay, and she's in prime position. There's still 3 AI cards. I can't afford to just lob the stone. I need to do that towards the end. So let's try and hit on the 6s. It's a disaster. I can't hit for anything. She's going to just move to here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She can't even hit. Yeah, she can't even get in range. So Tilly's a bit useless. Gregor's going to go around to the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and try and hit on 7s. He hits really well. He hits twice. 1, 2. You got to draw both of them because if one's a trap, you got to trigger the trap. Fortunately, it isn't. So now I choose which one we want to go for first. Consider this has got a 1 brain damage. He has some insanity, so that's fine. But knocked down. So let's go with soft belly because that's not going to. Because if we get knocked down, my attacking ends. Right. Okay. 6+ or 9+ for a crit. Yes, at last a good roll. A 9. Because of the luck, because I'm deadly with my fist and tooth, I'm actually going to roll. I did a critical wound. So first of all, I do a wound. So let's remove another AI card. Nice one. Then it says gain 1 random White Lion resource. So the White Lion deck has these resources. We give it a shuffle. And let's see what we get. And this is for the party, if I survive. A Lion Claw, which is a bone. Nice. Okay. Nice one. Persistent Injury. It's the soft belly. The White Lion's intestines hang from the wound on its gut, dragging on the floor. Start of every monster turn, before it draws an AI card, roll a d10. Result of a 1, it suffers a wound. Nice. Still don't know what the Strange Hand's doing. We haven't got anything saying about anything about the Strange Hand yet, have we? Affects some AI cards. I haven't seen anything talking about that. So, right, now the Beast's Maw. Let's see if he can go again. Go on! Whoops, go on, Gregor. A 6. A 6 is a wound. That's fine. It's not a failure. Nice one, Gregor. Gregor pulling out all the stops because it's a toughness of 6 and with a strength of 0. Hang on, so who's got +1? He's got Ah, you idiot. I've got +1 strength. I've got a +1 strength. Should be reading that. So I'm actually wounding on a 5+, not a 6+. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We succeed. We didn't do a critical, so that just goes over there. So he's got claw left over. Tilly's go next. What's she want to do? She's bad on her legs. I think we make 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we make the lion come to us in this case. In fact, 5. I'm going to go to there. No, I'm going to go to here. I'm going to go to here. I'm going to go there. That's fine. I can't actually use my activation to do anything. Oh, actually, I can. She could lob her founding stone. That's not a bad shout. Get rid of claw. And do a crit. Now, I'm a bit worried because there's not many of these hit location cards left, and there is a trap in there somewhere. So this could be completely wasted. But sod it. She's lobbing her Founding Stone. 1 automatic hit. Don't be a trap. Don't be a trap. It's not a trap. It's an automatic hit, automatic crit. The monster howls in pain as the blow breaks its elbow with a sickening crunch. Non-deaf survivors, we're all non-deaf, gain +3 insanity and may stand up if they're ground. So we all gain insanity. So Tilly is now 3 and insane. Gregor is now on 4 and insane. And B is now on 6 and 100% insane. We did a wound, so AI card goes over there. And this is now lost. I think that was important. We needed to make sure that we're taking this guy down as best as we can. Right. First of all, we trigger the hanging intestines, which means on a result of a 1, it takes a wound, and it could die from its soft belly because we have no AI cards left. So on a 1, on a roll of a 1 here, the lion dies and succumbs to its wound. Oh, it's a 2! So close. Oh, cool. Alright, it doesn't succumb to its wounds. It does a basic action attack. Closest survivor, in field of view. To be honest, is not Tilly. I didn't read this. It's in field of view, so it's actually not Tilly. So I've got to choose Gregor or B. I think I'm going to go for B, which will open up this area for both of these. Tilly's lost a Founding Stone, and Gregor's got the extra strength. Here we go. 2 dice and 2 plus. Oh, can she do it? Well, they will both hit. So 1 damage to, first of all, 1 damage to the body, which is the place she did not want to get hit on, because that is now going to be a roll on the table again. On the body. Oops, not that dice. Remember, we got another hit to do after this as well. She gets a 10. She gets a 10. 10 plus. Bowled over. The blow sends you sprawling and you are knocked down. Bang. Okay. Happy days. Right. However, where did the other damage go? Don't be the body. Oh, you kidding me? It is a 1 in 3 chance it's the body. We've got to roll again. She takes on the body again. Can she do it again? She gets a 6. Disemboweled. Your movement is reduced to 1 until the showdown ends. Gain 1 bleeding token. Skip the next hunt. So we give her a bleeding token. We tick the box that says skip the next hunt, which is here. You suffer if you suffer disemboweled during a showdown, which is this. At least 1 other survivor must live to end of that showdown to carry you back to the settlement. Otherwise, at the end of it, you are dead. So as long as either Gregor or Tilly survives, B is fine. Okay. I'm just going to leave the book there. Okay, so that could be far, far worse. She's knocked down. We've got to wait for the next turn of the white line. And B is the only one with the Founding Stone. So we're going to have to... I think Gregor, with his +1 strength, he's going to try and... sorry, we've got to move that over to Gregor first. Anyway. Oh, she gained another insanity because she got attacked. And she was monster controller. So she's on 7 insanity. This is pretty insane. Right, Gregor's going to come around to here and he's going to punch him at the back. 7 pluses. 2 hits. Oh, that might be really bad. Don't be a trap. Don't be the trap. It's not a trap. It's not a trap. There's like 4 cards left on the hit location. This is lucky. This has no reaction. This is a wound reaction. He's going for the heal, although, what's the best one? Yeah, we'll grab the Beast's heal. So, remember, +1 strength. So 5 plus to wound, 9 plus for crit. That's no wound. That does nothing. He doesn't kill it with this. Can he kill with the Beast Ribs? 5 plus. No! He fails, but no reaction. Oh, he fails. How did you fail that? 2 chances on 5 plus. That's shocking. Tilly is going to try and punch the lion in the back. 7 pluses. And misses. No! It's a disaster. It's a disaster. Right, it's the lion's turn again. Closest, that's not a target. So he turns around and attacks Tilly. She's got, she's going to take the hit. Tilly's going to take the hit, not Gregor. So, 2+, 2 hits, 1 damage, 2. First of all, the hand. She can certainly take arms. That's fine. And 1 damage to the body, which she can also take. So that's fine. She doesn't even get knocked down. That's good. That's good. Okay. Up steps B. Tilly is now the monster controller. And B's in prime position to destroy the lion. Oh, I forgot to roll the dice about the organs. Is it a 1? No. Right, okay. So B's going to attack on 6s. Come on, B. Come on, B. Oh, actually, I don't want too many. Oh, that's not good. 2. There are 4 cards left, and there's a trap somewhere in there. And there it is. If you draw it, this is bad. It was going to happen. Reshuffle hit location deck. The attacker is caught in the white lion's ruse and is savagely mauled. It's a doomed. You can't spend survival. Perform basic action against the target. Now, this is not a bad thing because, well, it is for B, but yeah, we'll see. Let's find out. So, doing a basic action against her. So, 2+, 2 hits. First of all, 1 damage to the legs, which she can take. And 1 damage to the head, which she can take, but gets knocked down. Which is not the worst in the world. Okay, so now we get all the hit locations and we shuffle them up. So we could be drawing them again. The good news is the line has turned around. So now both Tilly and Gregor have got the blind spot of the lion all lined up. Can they destroy this white lion? And poor Peter, he died really quite quickly. So Gregor's going with his extra strength. He needs 7s to hit. And 2 1s will do nothing. Does he move out the way? Oh, you probably want Gregor to take the damage. Oh, he's got that +1 strength though. It's massive. I'm going to move Gregor over to this side. I'm just going to surround the lion and just take... Come on, Tilly. 7+. No. Literally no hits. Does she move? Yes. She's going to move to here as well. And Gregor's... Tilly's going... Oh, hang on. Come on, 1. This is when I need the 1. No, it's the 7. Attacks Tilly, 2+, that's 2 hits. 1 damage to the arms, which will knock her down. And 1 damage to the arms again, which is going to be severe table time. Needs to be high. 6 is Contracture. The arm will never be the same again. Suffer -1 permanent accuracy. Is permanent and can be recorded only once. So impairment is Contracture. -1 accuracy. So I'll put that over in the table there. And a bleeding token. That's her first. So. It's not too bad. She does get 1 insanity because she was the monster controller. So she goes up to 4 insanity. And yeah. And that's the lion's turn over. B stands up. No, hang on. Was that during the trap phase? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. So that was the next lion's attack. Right, okay. Oh, can we do this? Can we do this? Come on, Gregor. Or do we go Tilly? Tilly's got more chance to hit. Gregor's got more chance. I'm going Gregor. Although I don't want to lose him. No, I'm going Gregor. Come on, Gregor. Sevens. Oh, sorry, I have to move this over to B. Sevens to hit. There's a 9. So it hits the beast's ear. And there is going to be a failure. So, 5 plus to wound, 9 plus to crit. Oh yeah, 9 plus, crits it, and destroys the lion by slicing off its ear. The force of the blow damages the white lion's ear, is now partially deaf. Gains -1 accuracy token. But that's all we needed to take the last wound, and the lion succumbs to his injuries from Gregor's final blow. I didn't think we were going to win that. I mean, we didn't do brilliantly. We lost a survivor in Peter, but we did survive. So let's put the characters down. And let's see what goes on next. Survivors are victorious. By scavenging the monster's corpse, the survivors earn resources. This is in addition to any resources earned from critical wounds during the showdown, which we've got one of. So we get the resources again, which is this deck here. And we're going to shuffle them and draw 4 of these cards. So we get 4 more of these. We get Great Cat Bones, more bones. We get White Fur, which is hide. We get some Sinew, which is an organ. And we get some more White Fur. To go with our Great Cat Claw, or a Lion Claw, I should say, that we got from the critical injury. So that's all the White Lion specific resources taken. Then it says... Read... Then there is a basic resource deck. Again, we shuffle these, and it says draw, shuffle, and draw 4 basic resource cards. So we get Monster Bone, Monster Organ, and we can consume this, by the way. It's a good way of getting rid of getting a parasite. Another Monster Bone, and a question mark, which is kind of like a wild. It's an organ, bone, and hide consumable. Don't know what part of the monster bit this is, but it can be used for any of them, which is really, really nice. Awesome. So we've got some loot. Place all resources face up on the table. Players lose their If players lost their survivor in the first story, they can create new survivors in the settlement. The pair of survivors' gear and resources are not lost. They are returned to the settlement with the remaining survivors. We have not lost that founding stone. Right, we have now completed this encounter with this lion. Okay, so next we move on to the settlement phase. Okay, this was the... don't need that. So let me just grab those and put those there. So in the game, you get this double-sided... please note this is 1, not 1.5. So it's slightly different. We get this settlement board that changes onto the hunt phase. So it tells us to put the settlement board here. So, returning the survivors. Sorry, Peter. So we've got our 3 survivors returning. So we set up the settlement. We haven't got anything. Sorry, I should read this. After they defeat the White Lion, the survivors wander the darkness, drawn to a soft glow blooming on the horizon. In the first story, settlement phase, Players create the settlement they will return to in every subsequent settlement phase. Place the settlement board in the play area, along with the gear, grids, and record sheets, and all the rest of it. These are now returning survivors. Notice below the name, returning gain +1. Ah, right, okay. This is interesting. Doesn't it tell me to... No? Okay. Fair enough. So, what we got now, or what we resort to now, is the settlement sheet, okay, which is double-sided. We decide to call it something. I'm going to call it Hope's Reach. Now it says, start by naming your settlement. Below the settlement name, when the settlement is named for the first time, returning survivors gain +1 survival. So, sorry Peter, again, B gets 1 survival, Gregor gets 1 survival, and Tilly gets 1 survival. So they get their survival back. Nice. Our survival limit at the moment is 1. So the maximum amount of survival a character can have is 1. They heal any injuries. So light and heavy injuries get removed. So let's rub those off. Okay, awesome. So it's kind of like a little bit of a reset, as it were. Add the names of the returning survivors to the population sheet. So, on the back of Hope's Reach, we put down who these people are. So we have B, who is female. We have Gregor, who is male, +1 strength. And we have Tilly, who's female, and -1 accuracy. Okay, so we've got a population of 3 at the moment. But apparently we're going to gain a survivor, apparently. It did say that, didn't it? And create new survivors in the settlement. I think I'll talk about that in a second. We're now next. Gain endeavours. Endeavours are the creative energy accumulated from the experience. Each returning survivor gains or generates 1 endeavour. So this one didn't come with endeavour tokens, so I'm just going to use these random tokens, these lantern tokens instead. So we're going 3 endeavour. Settlement event. Find the first day settlement card. So effectively what they've got, let me just show you this, is they've got a deck of settlement events. We use the first day. The first day settlement event will help, did we just read it? Yeah. Will help you set up the settlement. It's the first event of any new campaign, which is what we're doing. The survivors wander. Drawn to a blooming light in the distance, they find the serene comfort of a towering pile of lanterns and a small collection of scared people. On a deep, instinctual level, they know this area is safe, and they make it their home. Roll a d10. Higher, better than not. This is going to determine my population. Fantastic. I get a 2. We get 6... 6 unnamed survivors plus the returning survivors. So we're going to get a population of 9. And you know what I'm going to do? Just for we're going to remember our brethren. I'm going to call Peter again. So Peter's coming back, and then we'll just think about some others. So that's 4. We need 5 more. Let's just alternate between female and male. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Awesome. Return to the settlement section of the storyboard and proceed to update the count there, which we did lose someone. We basically don't use this again. So, next, we turn this over, and you'll notice we need to update our death count. So we fill in this box. Can you see how it's... this box has got a bold symbol around it. We now need to do a death principle. That's what the death count means, okay? So, cannibalize or graves. That's what we've got to decide on. So it says here, the first time death is counted is updated. Read principle death. So in this book, so I'm just going to use a cloth to bookmark that. We want principle death. So you look down in all of these, story events. Where is it? Principles. We look. Showdown. White Lion. Showdown. No. Yeah. Principle New Life. Principle Death. So then we have this lovely image here. Cannibalizing. Interesting. So Principle of Death. The group must decide what to do with their first survivor corpse. Do we first harvest? Do we basically harvest the bottle for resources and start to cannibalize our dead? Or do we build graves and mark them with a small monument? Calling it Hope's Reach doesn't sound very cannibalistic to me. I think I'm going to go down the grave route of burying my dead. So I've decided to do first grave. The second one gains the death principle graves. So on my sheet, I'm just going to mark off graves. Okay. Find a place on the second one and locate on the sheet. After adding to roll a d10. We get a 2. The second one gathers around the grave, each taking a moment to reflect the loss and their place in the darkness. All departing survivors gain +1 survival and +1 understanding. So departing survivors, that's when we come up to prepare departing survivors. Okay, so not yet. I'll remember that. And let's carry on. As it says here, if you're running first story, go back. So we'll go back to here. And we'll update the timeline. So here it says updating is your timeline. Sorry, you can't see that. Here is your timeline. And we're going to go slowly through this. You'll notice there's 40 years. So we're going to update the timeline, which says we're going to go trigger a story event. Returning survivors. So let's go to returning survivors. PQR. Returning survivors. Here we go. Nominate a survivor to utter the first words. I think that's going to be B. B's going to utter our first words. The nominated survivor steps forward and gains +1 courage. So we're going to mark on B's sheet the +1 courage. They lead the other survivors to learn to speak to one another. They discuss their situation, realizing that they must hunt to live. Add the White Lion to the quarry sheet, which has already been marked off for us. So that's the quarry we could hunt. Your settlement gains the language innovations, which also says here. So what we do is we try and find the innovations. Yeah. So there's a whole deck of innovations. What we want is we want graves, because we got graves now. That's what we built as a principle that we put here in our principle. And we also need somewhere language. Survival limit +1 and gaining courage. So we've got an innovation of language now. So that's good. That's definitely good. So, language is your first innovation, and it will spark the creation of the innovation deck. Build the innovation deck now. The innovation deck represents the potential cultural and technological growth of your settlement. It will grow throughout the campaign as you gain new innovation cards. Find the 6 innovation cards with language consequence under their title. So you look at these, that's society, new life principle, language, 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 just say 6, language, this is one more, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, one more, and language. So we've got all of our language consequences. So this is kind of like our starting innovation deck. Shuffle these 6 cards, and this becomes our innovation deck. So we put it on our innovation deck board. Okay. The innovation deck is persistent. Make sure you preserve the unique combinations of cards in your deck between play sessions. Finishing with their work, the settlement gathers around its glowing centre. Glowing centre. Armed with the language, the nominated survivor aptly names the glowing centre of their home the Lantern Horde. Here it is. So let's move this all to the top, and then we can put the Lantern Horde here with this. So we've got some things we can do. We can innovate. With an endeavour, bone, organ, and hide, and we can innovate, which is draw 2 innovation cards and keep 1 and return to the deck. Or we can spend an endeavour to build the bonesmith, a skinnery, or an organ grinder. So let's think about that in a minute. The Lantern Horde is the source of all innovations and further locations the settlement will develop. The nominated survivor, B, sits in front of the Lantern Horde in awe and gains +1 understanding. So this settlement leader gains 1 understanding as well. They skip the next hunt phase, which is fine because she was going to skip that anyway, as they ponder the meaning of existence. Check off this, which is done. Return to the first story. So we go back to this. And we've now updated the timeline. So we've done this and this. We now move to develop. So we can build. We could probably innovate as well. Where's all of our resources? Where did I put them all? Yeah. So we've got all of these resources, or we could build and try and get some better stuff, which I think is much, much more useful than innovate. Although innovating really does help you in a way. I think we just need to build up some characters, build up some equipment, and maybe make our place a bit better. So let's go for... Now, the organ grinder, it tells us here, in particular, the organ grinder, a survivor may participate in augury by spending 1 endeavour and following the rules. If this causes new birth, we can get more survivors. Although we've got 9, I think we'll be all right for the moment. So I'm thinking a bonesmith, probably. And... to be fair, how many endeavours? We've got 3 endeavours. Let's just build all 3. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to do that, actually. Graves. When a survivor dies during the hunt phase, gain 2 endeavour. When it dies in the settlement phase, 1 endeavour. Or showdown phase, 2 endeavour. Unfortunately, we didn't have the Graves when Peter perished. But never mind. Okay, that's fine. So let's go with... I'm sure for that time. Go back. All bleeding tokens are removed, by the way, as well. So the bleeding tokens are not persistent, which is handy. So I think we'll build a bonesmith first. Okay, so I'm going to spend one of our endeavours, and you can keep your endeavours for next time. You don't have to spend them all in one turn. And then we'll find the bonesmith. The bonesmith. There it is. So we got the bonesmith built. So we used endeavour to build a bonesmith. There's no extra resources to build those. Whereas if I wanted to build a weapon crafter now, it would cost me 3 bone and 1 hide. I could still do it. But we got a bone dagger, a bone blade, a bone axe, which is by far the best one, bone darts, which has got a bit of range. We haven't got ammonia, so we can't do the bone pickaxe or thing, or skull helm. Right, okay, cool. Let's go for a Skinnery next, I think. Or do we want... Yeah, I'm going to go for Skinnery, so I'm going to spend another endeavour. And by the way, something to really point out. Oh, it does actually tell you if you can spend 3 endeavours to build the 3 thingies. So sure, I think that makes sense. Let's do what it tells us to. So the organ grinder and the Skinnery are next. Nice. So we've got our full quotation. We spent all of our endeavours, sorry. So we can now craft gear using our resources. Now, what we got here? Rawhide headband. So hides are good to build armour. Got bandages. Now you can look, and we've also got augury. If I want to get if I want to get intimate, it's quite hard to do it. You spend a roll on a table, add +1 rules, and if your understanding is 3 or higher, you basically need 8+ to get intimate. So it's not easy to get additional people from the Born, as it were. Not yet, anyway. Right, I kind of want a bone axe, and I want to give Gregor a bone axe. He lost his. I want Tilly to get a weapon as well. She's got -1 accuracy, however, which I forgot about. So actually, she was hitting harder. It was harder for her to hit. Gregor's like my main guy, except for he can't use fighting arts, which is a bit of a disaster. Let's. I just want to check something now. No, we didn't gain any. Oh, whoops. In the aftermath, should fill their first unfilled in Hunt XP. I thought so. I was thinking, shouldn't I have got a Hunt XP because I defeated. Okay, cool. I was just checking that. That was really important. Right. Okay. Sorry. What do we want to make? What do we want to make? So I need 1 bone, 1 organ. So monster bone and monster organ. Boom. So we're going to spend those 2 resources, which are just normal, basic resources, to build a bone axe. So I go to the Bonesmith. The Bonesmith's got its own little pack of these cards. You'll see here, Bone Dagger is a speed of 3, so 3 dice to roll, 7+ with 1 damage. The Bone Blade, which is 1 bone as well, is 2 speed, so 2 dice in attack, 6+ to hit, and a 2 damage. And also, by the way, on a perfect hit, when you roll a 10 when you're hitting, gain +1 survival, as well as an attack. Sorry, that just tells you what it is. A Bone Blade, however, when you attempt to wound a super dense location, this weapon breaks and it just disappears. Bone Darts is next, which is speed 1, so only rolling 1 dice on a 7+, but 3 damage, and it is a range of 6, so you can fire from 6 away. But again, if it's super dense, it's lost. Otherwise, you just keep it all the time. So Bone Darts are quite cool, especially to get that one kind of... what do I need for Bone Darts? Just a bone. I might get that. Can't do that. Skull Helm was quite cool as well. 3. But Bone Axe, look at this. 2 attack dice, so speed of 2, 6+ on the attack, 3 I think, but it does again got frail as well. So it's frail as well. So again, if you attempt to wound a super dense hit location, it just dies. It just gets destroyed. But Savage, once per attack, if you critically wound, cause 1 additional wound. Does not account for Impervious. So that is definitely Gregor's Bone Axe. I'm going to get the Bone Darts as well, I think, which is going to cost me 1 bone. So I'm going to get rid of another monster bone. I'm going to give Bone Darts to B. So she's going to be doing that. And is that what I want from... Skullhound's quite good, but I haven't got a skull. That's going to cost me 2 bones, and that's just a bit... Now, I'm not going to spend my... If I can help it, I don't want to spend these at all. These are... And part reason is because I know what's coming up. And these will be quite good to have, to keep. The unique resources you want to kind of keep if you possibly can, which means I've got something of anything. Now, I love the Lucky Charm. But do I get some armor instead? I could get a Rawhide Vest, which just gives me armor on the body, which is the most likely thing to get hit. If I show you. If I can find the cards. Okay, so the Skinnery. Rawhide Vest. So, and this brings about these colours. You might have noticed that with both of my weapons that I literally just crafted, they've got a little red icon here. So they do nothing to that, but it says here, if you match up this Rawhide Vest with a blue and a red, and it tells you on here where the blue and the reds are, then you can get +1 evasion, which is basically the monster will need +1 to attack, to hit. Other than that, it gives you basically 1 armor. I'll tell you what, no. Just because I know how strong a combo a Bone Axe is with a Lucky Charm. So I'm going to get rid of those cards. I'm going to go straight to the Organ Grinder. And I'm going to try and find a Lucky Charm. That looks like one. Cool, which is going to cost me a organ. So I'm just going to spend this wild resource. And a Lucky Charm. Now the problem is... yeah, that's the problem. I might have to do it twice. Oh yeah, it doesn't do anything on its own. You need 2 blue on your board. So actually, that's not the way to go to start with. So actually, I'm changing my mind again. I'm not going to get the Lucky Charm first. I forgot about the fact you need to kind of build it up a little bit. So I'm not going to get the Lucky Charm. I'm going to go back to the Skinnery, and I'm going to get that Rawhide Vest. Okay, so I spent the Wild Resource as a hide, and I'm going to get a Rawhide Vest. That's going to go straight on to... What was Contractor again? Nothing. Unless insane. So I'm just putting down what they do a second. Who do I give it to? So B's not going out. So B's not actually going to have the bone darts to start with. That's going to be either Peter or Tilly. She's going to be hitting on an 8+ though. I think I'm going to give it straight down to... I'm going to make Gregor really, really tough. Let's try it that way. See what happens. So it goes to Gregor. And I'm going to keep all of these resources. So what you do is you note down. So I spent all my basic resources, which is fine because they're just basic resources. I'm going to try and boost up my other resources. So from this, we jot down on the back of here what we got. So it was Lion Claw, 2 white fur, and I'd recommend not writing too strongly because you're going to be doing a lot of rubbing out. And great cat bones. Okay, and then they can all go back into the resources again so that you can pick those back up. Okay, next. So we've done all we can do in terms of develop. So then we move over to departing survivors. And now Peter's going to join the crew for departing. Now, first things first, what I didn't suggest on here is all of these, because they were created... Hang on a minute. Let me just write. No, they weren't, were they? They were... I got the settlement in the draw settlement event. We only got languages when we updated the timeline. So with that in mind... Or did we? I can't remember. The graves, sorry. Update time. No, that's right. This is right. So, all new survivors gain +1 understanding. So, +1 understanding going down. Okay. So Peter, he's back. Let's rub out his wounds. And he's got +1 understanding. So he actually has some understanding to start with. All new survivors gain +1 understanding. Survival limit's +1, so let's put that up to a 2. Survival limit's now 2. And all of them gain the encourage. All of them gaining courage, so I can mark off the encourage, which basically means if one of your characters gets knocked down, another one of your survivors can encourage them. That's what it tells you here. Encouraging. Once per round, spend 1 to non-death survivor. They stand if knocked down, which means that they can attack. So we've got survival limit +1, and because if you remember rightly, our story event it said all departing survivors gain +1 survival. Was that it? Which came from... Where did that come from? The death? Hang on a second. From a principle, wasn't it? I think it was from that. Let me just double check. I knew I'd forget this. +1 survival, +1 understanding. All departing survivors gain +1 survival, +1 understanding. So, B's not going. She's got to skip the next hunt phase. So actually, she isn't going. So we're going to grab another sheet, which I did prepare, and I don't know where I put them. Here we go. So I'm going to grab another sheet, and we've got to come up with another survivor's name who is female. So this is going to be Cat, who has +1 understanding. Anyway, because of something, Graves. Then, because of our death, she gets another one, right? Because she's departing. Is that what I literally... Sorry, I literally don't remember what I just said. Yes, +1 understanding. So she's going to get another understanding and +1 survival. And I can't take 2 survival. When you name a survivor, you get +1 survival. Peter will be the same. Gregor will be on 2, as well as Tilly will be on 2. So I already have I think that's right. Unless the survival limit is just 1 because it knows you're gonna be drawing languages. Yeah, that might be. It might not be 2 I can take. It might only be 1 because that doesn't really make sense, does it? So we get language. I think my survival limit... No, because they all had 1, didn't they? Yeah, no, that's good. Because they get 1, yes. +1 survival, yes. Okay, I'm going to count it as 2. So B's gone away for this one. The ones that are leaving get +1 understanding, +1 survival. So make sure to put understanding into those. Peter was also a new one, so gets +1 understanding from Graves, as well as +1 understanding from naming it. And this one's called Cat, female. She's going to have 1 on her waist. This needs to be updated. So now he's got 1 on the body as well. 1, 1, 1. That's all fine. Okay. So cloth founding stone, cloth founding stone, cloth founding stone and bone axe, and cloth and bone darts. So we are all ready with Peter, Cat, Gregor and Tilly. And we've done all of that stuff. Record and archive resources. Oh, that's where you would do... Sorry, that's where you would do the bit that I literally did for the cat things. And then end the settlement phase. And we are ready to play the first story to begin our campaign. Sorry. And then that's it, really. So this talks about what we basically do. These are like the 6 pillars. It's a campaign-based game, so we're going to go through cycles of doing stuff, and the story will develop. It's cooperation and group decisions. Obviously, I'm playing it solo, so I'll make decisions. Although I might do some live streams. I've just realised, why is that? Oh, no, I'm not sure when that happened. When the recording screen dropped down. Probably when I was doing resources. I haven't been looking. So apologies about that. You will create miniatures, and that's what I'm hoping to do. I hopefully will do some live streaming of this, of some future ones, and then I can get some decisions from those people. But comment in the descriptions below if you want me to change some of these survivors around. There's going to be a settlement phase, a hunt phase, and a showdown phase. We've obviously done the settlement phase. Now we're going to move on to hunt phase. The only thing we can hunt is a white lion. So a few other things. There's a persistent innovation deck, which we've selected with our language. There are story events, which you read in here. There are milestones on both the character sheet and the settlement sheet. And it's whenever you see that book, you have to read what that talks about. Okay. Dice and tables in the book. Okay, it's rolling dice, especially when you go into the hunt phase. Lantern 10 is a natural 10. Okay. And you can get natural ones, which always misses. So natural ones always misses. I should probably mention that. So even if you're so strengthed up that it's a guarantee hit, a one will always fail. And conflicts and the rule of death. Again, we just got to read the rules a little bit, and I might have to do that every so often. So other than that, it's literally the rest of the core rules, which is it talks about survivors and how we do weapon proficiency, fighting arts, doing your gear grids, matching and getting the bonuses from these things. It does depend. So if it doesn't show like a jigsaw piece, then it doesn't have to be that one to get the ability. So luck, as long as you've got it somewhere on your board, you've got 2 blue infinities, you get that effect. So it doesn't have to be connected up. And this shows like it's because you can do. So you've got kind of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blue infinities, but you can only gain the bonus once, obviously. And you can't gain it from a second identical gear. You have to get another 2 blue infinities, if that makes sense. Then it's about monsters and the AI, the setup card, and all the rest of it, the blind spot level, how you create the deck, the hunt, monster AI, hit locations, what the definitions mean, persistence, resources, life trait, which is unique. It'll tell you about setting those up, about those resources, how you get resources, what that means. Terrain, because we didn't have terrain in that first that initial fight, but you'll get terrain every single one showdown that you do. The hunt phase, how that's how it's set up, how you do it, what you roll. This idea of this overwhelming darkness, what happens when that happens. The showdown phase, which you literally just did. How do you create the deck? How do you do a turn? How do you play the AI cards? What you do to attack? What about targeting? All of that. Knock down and standing up, which is what I was trying to figure out. Yeah, sorry, I was just reading something there. The wounds, perfect hits, perfect critical wounds, knocking down. The settlement phase, of course, so it's the 3 main phases, innovations, and then it goes straight to what we've seen, the severe injuries table, the brain trauma, and then it's got the hunt phase events table, and then it's basically all these trigger events, and you just look through these to find out what they are. And then I think this could be a final comic, I believe. Yeah. That's the final time. So, I'm going to leave it there. We are going to go and hunt a white lion, and the minimum level we can hunt is a level 1 white lion. So we're going to have to go for a level 1 white lion next, which, if I remember rightly, is very similar to what we just went against, except for it's not a prescribed AI deck, slightly more difficult, more harder. And it's going to, the most important thing, it's going to have a toughness of 8, which instead of 6. So it's going to be a lot harder to wound. But now we've got Gregor, the killing machine, with a strength +1, a damage on his bone axe of 3. So that's a +4 on my dice roll. So basically he's going to be wounding on a 4+. He's going to be critting on a 10 still. No extra luck on that. But if I do critically wound, I manage to do an additional wound as well. And that's why I wanted those luck charms, is if I could get luck charms, I could potentially get that luck, get that critical value going down. Awesome. Well, I hope you enjoyed the first play session of Kingdom Death Monster. We won. We won the first scenario, which is not easy to do. It quite regularly can really backfire, as you saw with Peter just getting like one-shotted and just head being lobbed off or exploding or whatever it was. It's now just a matter of taking these characters through, seeing if we can hunt this creature, number 1, and take it forward. So I'm going to keep my deck and my innovations in a separate pile. I've got loads of these little elastic bands, so they're brilliant for just keeping your personal deck together. We then got all of our characters and the rest of it, and then basically what you do is you flip this over, and this becomes the hunt board. We take in all of our buildings, and that's nice and easy to set up because I can just put those in the opposite direction to the ones that we are using, and we are ready to play the next round. Okay, so apologies about the screen moving part way through that video, and I'll see you next time, probably in a few days' time, when we're going to hunt the white lion again, but this time the proper level 1 white lion, and we'll see how the bone axe takes place and all the rest of it. We will soon find out. Okay, thanks for watching. And if you want to see the next installments of Kingdom Death Monster, for example, please make sure you like, subscribe, and do comment below. Especially want to see what other people are thinking as we start to progress through this campaign, get a bit more input from you guys. And I might even be doing a bit of a live stream version as well, which would be quite cool. Okay, till next time, see ya.